Well, it's been a strange few months for English cricket, really, with the sacking of Alistair Cook, the blackmailing of Owen Morgan, Kevin Pietersen, which is a big loss for England, no matter what anybody says. He's a terrific talent, and he would make England a better side. But saying that, since the captaincy of Owen Morgan has come in, I think you've seen England have played with a breath of fresh air. They've been playing a dominant style of cricket, especially up top with Ian Bell and Moeen Ali. I'd like to see more runs from Owen Morgan. I think he's now got 126 runs in his last 5 or 6 knocks. He got 121 of them in one innings. So we need to see more runs from Owen Morgan. But we've definitely got... We will upset someone at the World Cup. I'm not saying we will win it, but we will upset a few teams because we've got potential match winners in that team. Well, I kind of disagree there because I think with England during this World Cup, I think in Australia and New Zealand, I think the ball is going to play a big part. You've got the brand new ball there. I just think England's bowling attack, although it's very, very similar all the way through it on flat pitches, we are very, very much the same, if you know what I mean, with Anderson, Broad, Wokes. Finn is the kind of the X factor who has that little bit of pace when he's bowling well. But I think if the pitches just offer a little bit for the bowler, I think England, that's where they'll surprise quite a few teams because they can knock over 3 or 4 with a new ball. And that's where I think England's strength is. Now, with the batting, we have got players who are dynamic, but they're not in the same breath as a De Villiers or a McCullum or a Gale or a Warner or a Watson or a Maxwell or a Coley. We have got good players, but they're not in that where they take the batsmanship to the next level. The only player we've got who does that is Owen Morgan. And we've seen he can build an innings, and at the end, in the final 6, 7, 8 overs, he can chase down anything. He's a terrific finisher. But unfortunately for England, he's not playing his best cricket at this moment. Of course it is. We've always had good players. We look back to the '96 World Cup. We had Alex Stewart, Robin Smith, who were all fantastic batsmen, but they didn't really take... When you remember back to 1996, when I remember of it, you looked around Sri Lanka, Jayasuriya, you looked the way they played, and that's why they were so successful in that World Cup. Because we'd never seen that before. The world of cricket had never seen players going out there with a new ball. And we called them pinch hitters, didn't we? They're not pinch hitters. They were just very, very good batsmen who decided the best way to take the game forward was to play shot after shot after shot while the new ball is hard and the field is up. Now, England have stayed in kind of a bubble where we've always played conservative. And the only time we've stepped out of that was when England won the T20 World Cup. Paul Collingwood was captain, and the X factor in our team was Kevin Pietersen. And he's the only one really over the past 10, 15 years who's been different to anybody else we've played in the England side. The rest of them can build at innings, they can play well in a one-off, but consistency-wise, we haven't really got that. We have got good players. Ian Bell technically is a superb player. Moeen Ali can play shots with a new ball. One thing we need to see with Moeen Ali is that big innings now. We need to see a big innings from him where he goes on and gets 140, 150 like the best players do. We've got Joe Root, a fantastic talent, a great player. But we need him. For us to fire in this World Cup, we need Joe Root to be getting 80s and 90s just about nearly every game because he's our most important player at the top. If we lose an early wicket, we need Joe Root to stabilise the innings. And he's someone who plays spin well, plays seam well. He can play the ball 360 degrees around the pitch. And we need him to have an absolutely outstanding World Cup for us to get to the semi-final or final. Yeah, I think it'll be a fantastic World Cup, and I do believe that bowling is going to be vital. I'm really excited by the Dale Steyn and Moni Morkel partnership, and Philander from South Africa. If those three can fire, I know they lost in a friendly against New Zealand earlier, but you've got in South Africa you've got 3 seam bowlers there who are wicket takers, and they keep the ball, they keep it tight when they bowl as well. They're not. Fire the ball down the leg side 1 minute, fire it wide of the off. They know exactly what they're doing. They're experienced performers now for South Africa. So I expect those and South Africa and that team with the match winners they've got with the bat to be in the semi-finals. I expect Australia. I think they're in dominant form. They've got so many match winners in their side from start to finish. You look through it, they've got about 7 players who could all win a game on their own. That's how good they are. New Zealand, excellent team, peaking at the right side. They no longer have got bits and pieces cricketers. They've got out-and-out quick bowlers. Milne bowls at 153 kilometres per hour. I mean, that's an amazing speed to be bowling at consistently. They've also got batsmen experience in Taylor, in Williamson, and in Guptill, and in McCullum. Fantastic batting lineup. So I expect them. And I think India. And now India's a surprise one, because with India, the only thing that's going to let them down is the bowling. And I think bowling is going to be so vital. But what they have got, India, in tournament play is that will to win. I think they've only lost twice in the last 3 ICC tournaments. That's an unbelievable record. And knowing Duncan Fletcher and knowing some of the Indian players, I believe they'll get it right at the right time. They might not win this World Cup, but I think they'll be in that Final 4. Yeah, well, I think some of the young players, I think for England, I think Gary Ballance for England could have a good World Cup. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to play in the World Cup. You only have to look at his record in 50 over cricket over here playing for Yorkshire. It's a terrific record. He averages around the 50 mark. Unfortunately, the only way he's going to play is if someone gets off to a bad start during this World Cup. I think he's a terrific talent. When I look at the West Indies, they've got the youngest captain you could imagine. I feel sorry for him really, because he's a terrific talent, Jason Holder. I watched him playing in the CPL last year. He played for Barbados. Bowls medium pace. He gets a little bit of bounce, and he can throw the bat at it as well. But a player I really am excited about for West Indies is Andre Russell. I've watched him now on a few occasions, and I think he can play. He's a terrific talent. And it's about opportunity. When you look at the West Indies with Darren Sammy in there, he's a match winner. And I think if Andre Russell can fire, same as Darren Sammy, they'll start to play some positive and good cricket, West Indies. And they're another team. They're very similar to England. Consistency-wise in 50 over cricket, it's not quite there. But they will upset 1 or 2 teams this World Cup. And that's never a good sign, is it? When you've got a team which are dangerous, you don't think they're going to win it, but they might just knock someone else out of the World Cup. And that's not what the team you want to play against. But as far as young players, you never not quite know who's going to shine in the World Cup. Because, I mean, honestly, I've played in a few myself. And is it going to be someone who has no fear going into a World Cup, who might just surprise someone, whether it be a spinner, whether it be an opening batsman, whether it be someone of experience? Or whether it's going to be someone who's played in the field, like a captain who comes and does something different. Like the best captains in the world. There's 3 of them for me. You've got Brendan McCullum from New Zealand. I think he's going to be vital if New Zealand are going to have any success in this World Cup. They're a semi-final team, we all know that. But New Zealand have now got a captain who everybody believes in. The nation believe in him, the players believe in him, the coach believes in him. And he can carry his team to success. MS Dhoni. I can't talk high enough for him. He's the captain of India. He's probably the guy who's under the most pressure in world cricket every single time he steps out on the field. A terrific leader. He's brave. He makes brave decisions. And he leads from the front. And the other one is Michael Clarke. For some silly reason, this guy is he's under so much pressure, because while he's been out, the captain and Australia, Steve Smith or George Bailey, have done well as captains, and some of the media reported that he's not welcome back in the side, which I find absolutely remarkable. Michael Clarke is a terrific leader of men. We saw that with Philip Hughes as passing, and the way he stood up in front of the world media and dealt with such sadness. And for him to come back into that side, I think it makes Australia even better than they've been in this tri-series against India and England. So when I look at throughout all the teams, and I look at young players, I look at experienced players, my biggest factor in this World Cup is going to be the captains are going to have a huge, huge say in who wins this World Cup. And the 3 best ones are McCullum, Dhoni and Clarke.